Hello there. I want to tell you about 10 years of taking Haritaki, 10 years of selling Haritaki, and what I've learned from this 10 years about Haritaki. So, my name is Martin Williams. My spiritual name is Dira. And I learned about Haritaki when I was in India studying. I spent 10 years in and out of India studying with masters and mystics and enlightened beings, and came across Haritaki during that time. And I was so impressed that when it came back to the United States, I started bringing it back and then making it available. So, Haritaki, I discovered in India, is way more effective, way more powerful than it's viewed through the traditional or the more modern Ayurvedic ways of looking at it. So, in India, because I was working with mystics and sages, they could literally see how Haritaki was working on the body. And in India, Haritaki is called the king of herbs. And that's in the Ayurvedic system, which goes back thousands of years. And the reason it's called the king of herbs is because it is the ultimate rejuvenator. So, really, it optimizes every aspect of your system, your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual system. So in India, regular people use it for health, right? Health, brain function, things like that. And in India, the monks use it for health, but really what they want to get out of it is the access to higher consciousness. So Haritaki is a herb that actually accesses higher consciousness. And so, but it's not through any psychedelic experience, that sort of way. It is through optimizing your own personal, your own, like your own potential, basically. These, other, things like psychedelics give you a glimpse into your potential. Haritaki activates your ultimate potential. And so, and literally, what I saw happening is that I would chat with various people who were clairvoyant, various monks and mystics who were clairvoyant, and they said, yes, we can see when people are taking all sorts of different things. Most of them don't seem to have much effect on the body energetics. But when somebody's taking Haritaki, we can see the difference in their body compared with anything else at all. And if they're taking Haritaki and enemas, which are, a way of cleansing the lower bowel, then we see the cleanest, healthiest people anywhere in the world, right? Literally. So I would go up and I would check with different people. The story was the same. Haritaki is having this remarkable effect. Now, the thing is, in the West, though, when we first hear about Haritaki, we think, oh, it's a bit of a digestive cleanse or something like that. And many people who take it have an initial either digestive reaction, which is, oh, holy smoke, I'm now pooing more than I ever thought was possible. And they think, well, that's not good, right? But in fact, if effective elimination is the key to amazing health. So when you have super effective elimination in the morning, where you feel like your whole system is just boom out, gone, you're clean, then that is the perfect sort of Haritaki response, right? But often Westerners, especially, we're not used to that sort of response, and so we think, oh wow, this is either it's not working, or if it's working too much, and we, no, 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 let me back off. Secondly, Haritaki is pretty awful to taste for a Westerner. Now, people in India, people who use it regularly, can get very used to it and they actually love it and they love the taste. But for most Westerners, it's not sweet, it's bitter and sour. And so I've had so many of my customers, when they've ordered the powder, go, I want a refund, so get this stuff the heck away from me. Right? It can be that bad. So my suggestion there is that you actually, if you are using powder, first of all, I'd suggest going with capsules. Secondly, if you are using powder, mix the powder with something like orange juice or juice that really disguises the taste. Then Another thing that happens with Haritaki is that we recommend you take it in the evening after food with water before bed. And that way it works all night. And so in the morning, typically you have a really good bowel movement, which is one of the foundational pieces, right? Um, some people, though, probably about 10%, report that when they take it at night, it actually provides energy and then they can't sleep. So if you're in that 10% category that have that experience, switch to taking Haritaki in the morning. That way you'll have energy you'll have more energy during the day, and then you'll be able to sleep well. So for those, so one of the misunderstood benefits of Haritaki that's really not listed, but so many people report it to me is I have more energy. I just feel way more alive. I feel more vibrant, etc., etc. So in Ayurveda, Haritaki is actually to do with rejuvenation and longevity. And so there's a lot of hype these days about longevity. And yet in India, Haritaki has been known for its longevity in the long term. So then let's talk about some of the more mystical aspects of Haritaki. So again, in India, so many people were reporting that when I take Haritaki, my I get increased third eye perception. And the third eye, just to sort of back up a little bit, the third eye, pineal gland, all interrelated. The pineal gland is blocked, is reduced in function in many Westerners through the use of fluoride in the water, things like that. So as we take Haritaki, heavy metals are removed, including fluoride. So our third eye, our pineal gland becomes more cleansed, so and third eye becomes more active. And when the third eye becomes more active, first of all, one of the first things many people report is an increase in dreams. So increase in the vividness of dreams or just the occurrence of dreams. And so we can optimize that too. And I have some ebooks with links down below on how to optimize when we're taking Haritaki, how to optimize it for third eye function, right? And then the other things that happen with taking Haritaki in the third eye is then we start accessing various mystical powers that are things like remote viewing, things like seeing auras, things like sensing. So if you start studying these ways of being, they're actually quite normal, right? Children have them frequently and they tend to lose them as they grow up because adults said, no, you can't see that or you can't hear that, or, it tends to be rubbished. All these things that are actually naturally occurring faculties in a high functioning person. So this high functioning person typically has clairaudience, which is the ability to hear. Um, so so to hear messages, clairvision, which is the ability to see into bodies, to etc., etc. Clairsentience, which is the ability to feel other people's emotions, feel other people's thoughts, feel the environment, chat with plants through feeling, all that sort of stuff, right? And then that moves into healing arts, as in, massage therapy, as in mediumship, all these other arts that flow out of psychic arts, remote viewing, etc., etc. So these faculties are quite normal, and taking Haritaki is a starting point for accessing these. Now, what we're doing is the cleansing the body, ready for these processes to happen, but you also need other things. So you need meditation, so you're quieter, so you can hear the voices. You need yoga, so your breathing is better, so again, you can feel better. So these various standard practices in the yogic tradition, meditation, yoga, chanting, etc., they are standard practices that enable higher functioning and enable all these abilities to awaken. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for now. Hopefully this is helpful for you. And again, just to summarize, many of the Western medical approaches to Haritaki are just, oh, it's just a bit of a digestive cleanse and look out. But no. It is the king of herbs. And it's been used for thousands of years by mystics in India and also in Tibet too. So it doesn't grow in Tibet, but it was carried over the mountains, carried over the Himalayas into Tibet and used in ceremonies in Tibet, and it was standard in many of the preparations in Tibetan literature. And if you look at some of my other posts, my other videos, you'll find I go into detail on Tibetan literature, into Ayurveda and the history there. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful for you. If you want to order Haritaki, click the link below. Send me a note. I respond very effectively. Look for my ebooks as well, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. See you. Goodbye.